Fitzpatrick takes the snap, drops back, lobs it back right corner. Decker! He's got it! Touchdown! Eric Decker scores! And the Jets have won it in overtime!
This is the Jet Take with Ben Blessington and Kyle Fahey.
Welcome back to another episode of the Jet Take. I'm your host, Ben Blessington. A lot to talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to review this very controversial loss to the New England Patriots that the New York Jets suffered this past weekend. A lot to unpack there. We also have to preview this weekend's game against the Miami Dolphins. And as always, we have lovable Jets talk. I'm joined by my favorite person in the world, Mr. Kyle Fahey. Kyle, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Get the marshmallows ready. Fire is about to be just
Flamed.
spewing out of our mouth.
Ew.
Out of our mouth.
That was disgusting.
Yeah. I mean.
All right. That's graphic image. Now we got to make this thing. Okay. Anyway. Kyle and I have been talking
Think about that.
Okay. Kyle and I have been talking about this game for the Battle for like 15 minutes before we started the broadcast. It's going to be a heated episode. Kyle and I are polar opposites in our opinions on this game.
What else is new?
I mean, yes, we're generally on different sides of each argument. Sometimes for the show, but a lot of times that's just our natural, mindset. For those who don't like our heated arguments, we apologize. For those who do, you're in for a treat. We'll obviously have some other talk where hopefully Kyle and I can be cordial. But before we hop into it, let's do some plugs. I don't think Kyle and I are going to debate a lot over this one. Yes. So as always, at the Jet Take on all of our social media platforms: Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. The best place to reach us is definitely Twitter, though. That's where all of our content is. We're very interactive. You tweet us, we'll tweet you right back. So we love interacting with the fans on Twitter. Obviously, to listen to the podcast, iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, pretty much every other podcatcher there is, you can find our podcast on. We're also a part of the Turn on the Jets digital network. Make sure to check those guys out. Joe Caporoso and the guys at Turn on the Jets do a terrific job every week. So our articles and our podcast is on their site. So make sure you check out turnonthejets.com. And our last thing to shout out, we shouted this out last week. Only 2 more games remaining on this. We've sold a few, but we actually somehow still have open spots for our promo code with the New York Jets. We were working with them to bring you tickets, and on our promo code offering right now, use the Jet Take as the code on the Jets website. Obviously, this Patriots game is passed. There's only 2 games remaining on it. The Falcons game on October 29th, and then the Thursday night Bills game on November the 2nd. You enter in the promo code the Jet Take, you'll get discounted tickets. So you'll get those tickets on a discount, and you'll also we have a few spots left. But if you're within our threshold, you will be able to have post-game field access. So after the game, you go on the field, you have VIP privileges there. So make sure you check that out. If you're planning on going to either of those games, use our promo code, the Jet Take, and get yourself in MetLife Stadium, because we got to fill some seats. Kyle, I guess that's where we'll open it up, and we could talk about this Austin Jenkins call and whatnot. And obviously, none of us were there at the game. You live in Florida, I live in Portland. Although we might be going to a Jets game this year. At least I think I might. We'll see about Kyle. What were your thoughts just watching from home really quickly about the atmosphere at MetLife? Because I mean, I've been there once, and it was a Jets-Patriots game last year. And there are a lot of takeaways I had. I mean, I think that was obviously a night game where it was 4:25, but it was dark, and whatever. But I go to bed at 4:30. No. Makes sense. Yeah, I just wanted to get your thoughts on MetLife and the atmosphere as you see it as a fan on TV. Because when I went there, I mean, I don't know. It really bums me out sometimes just seeing it on TV. It's just not full a lot of the times. It's not very loud. People don't stand up on third downs. And, it's easy for us to, criticize. But it almost seems like it's just more fans just enjoy watching the game at home. I just wanted to get your thoughts on this whole MetLife Stadium debacle.
Yeah, this was like one of my biggest problems throughout the off season. All these people calling me fake fans, but I know damn well they're selling their tickets when it comes to a big game because they're not showing up. And somehow, some way, all these Patriots fans are getting these pretty nice seats, and they're making a difference at this game. I swear to God, Ben, you probably heard it too, and everybody who's listening, they probably heard it, whether you were at the stadium or not. The Jets got a penalty against them. I heard cheering. I heard very loud cheering.
Yeah, third downs for New England were quiet. Third downs for the Jets were actually loud.
Yeah.
It's hard to criticize, Jets fans that aren't going to the game because you have to criticize the New York Jets here and just how they've handled this whole stadium transition. You say stadium transition. We're getting almost to a decade in MetLife.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's just a bunch of gray seats. It's just an aluminum tin can that's just, I don't know. I don't know what the Jets are going to do. But it doesn't. Yeah, I guess. But it just doesn't seem like the Jets have much of a home field advantage at all, which is a bummer, for sure. All right, just wanted to get that out of the way. Let's unpack this game. So, obviously, the biggest thing to talk about is this controversial Austin Seferian-Jenkins touchdown. Kyle is the only Jets fan that I have ever seen that is actually saying that the referees made the right call. I guess as you are the affirmative, I'll let you go first and give your unbelievably stupid take, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll with that great intro, I'll let you, with no further ado, Kyle Fahey, you have the mic.
Yeah. First off, I want to say, I think this is a stupid rule. I will absolutely agree with that. I do believe if you cross the goal line and the ball is, even in your, bodily range, I guess. If you even have a little bit of a corral on it, I do think that should count as a touchdown. Now, what I will say, unfortunately, against ASJ here, he did fumble it. There's no denying that. He fumbled it before he got to the goal line. And I think this all circles back to the NFL having no idea what a catch is. We see this 4 or 5 times a year. What is a catch? Does he have possession? It really just depends on the referee and the people in New York. And I honestly, towards the end of the clip, ASJ, that ball came off of his bicep. Now, do I think that's a catch personally? Yes. But the NFL rules state that you have to maintain possession without losing possession throughout the whole catch. You have to maintain it. So when he fumbled that at the half-yard line, because he was not over the pylon, I think everybody can agree that, and then he did not completely maintain possession, which the NFL rules very dicey on that. Like I said, it's a controversy. Every year they need to be fixed. They need to identify a catch and possession very clearly. It hasn't been done. It's still a problem from basically that Seattle Packers game on Monday Night Football. What was a catch? What wasn't?
No, it started back with the it was Megatron 2010. Yeah. So this has clearly been a problem in the NFL, and it needs to be fixed. But that ball did come off of ASJ's bicep. I personally believe that is that is a catch. But the NFL rules state you have to control it through the whole time. So when he fumbled it at the half-yard line and didn't completely recover it and it goes through the end zone, that's just the rule. Unfortunately, that is the rule. There's nothing we can do about it. I honestly don't think it would have changed the game. Brady's Brady. I think the Patriots still would have won, unfortunately. Obviously I was rooting for a win. I was happy to see our boy ASJ doing great. I thought it was a touchdown on first look, but that ball definitely did come off of his bicep. I still believe personally, though, that would be a catch, or at least possession. But these NFL rules are just so a coin flip, basically. All right, I'll cut in here. I don't agree with you whatsoever. I will say you're getting off the topic here. You're saying, what is a catch? What is a catch? Kyle, he caught the ball at the 5-yard line. He already had possession. We avoid the whole what is a catch. No, hold on. I'll let you talk. Yep. Let me talk.
Okay.
You're saying what is a catch? He have this. That's not what happened here. I think the best angle, and I don't remember even seeing this on the broadcast. We retweeted it. I guess I'll retweet it right now, Kyle, so you can see it, and our viewers at home can't see. But it's really I guess it was on the broadcast. It's the only angle that actually shows ASJ from his front side, I guess. So it's from the other sideline, but it's zoomed it, so you can see his whole movement and stuff. I agree with you that yes, he lose possession of the ball for a brief second before he crosses the pylon. Yes, but it's you have to point this out. He never loses the ball. At no point during this entire thing does he lose the ball. He always has it within his grasp. He bobbles it for a second. But again, That is before he hits the pylon. So if he fumbles it, or I shouldn't even say fumble. Everybody's talking about fumble. He never lost the ball. He lost possession for a brief second and bobbled it at probably the 1 yard line, half yard line. However, as you can see in this clip, as he's going towards the end zone, he clearly establishes the ball again. He puts both arms around the ball as he falls over the plane, and then there's another photo that I believe a fan took, and I've tweeted that or sent that to Kyle multiple times, where his knee is clearly inbounds. He's basically, it's hard to explain since this is a podcast, but imagine he's just on both knees, and he's just kind of leaning over the pylon with clear possession, inbounds, ball over the pylon, touchdown. That should have been it right there. That was a touchdown. And I also, before we continue, I should have opened with this, is that no matter what your stance is on, okay, this is a bobble, this ball moved a centimeter in his arms, the one thing that is for sure, and Kyle, if the fact that you can make your argument about, oh, this is the rule, and look at this little movement, and I'm sure that's what the referees were doing, so you can nitpick, and we'll talk about, because I even disagree that it shouldn't have even been called. But the one thing you have to agree on is there was just not inconclusive evidence. In that scenario, and I'll give you a chance, like literally 10 seconds so you can just respond, but I want to keep going, is there's obviously not inconclusive evidence for either way. I mean, I would make the argument that if they called it a fumble that you could maybe argue that it was not a fumble, but either way, it's not inconclusive. You have to go with the call on the field. That is the rule. I mean, if it's not inconclusive evidence, you go with the call the referees made, the referee at the pylon made. And that's what they failed to do. So get that should have been my opening argument. Get that out of the way. That this shouldn't have even been a discussion because there's no clear 100% bam. I think it's a 95% argument in my favor that clearly proves he had possession. But just based off everything, there's a slight move. It's not conclusive of whether or not he has full possession and it is in the end zone as far as overturning it to a fumble goes. So just really briefly, because I actually have more to continue on the debate. So just really quickly, do you agree that it was not inconclusive evidence? Do you agree that they should have just stayed with the call on the field, even if you could argue maybe there's this, but it's not undoubted evidence? Like, that's the big word, is everybody's forgetting. It has to be completely 100% clear we were wrong. Any 50-50 ball, you could make this argument, you could make this argument, it has to go ruling on the field. That's the rule. So, Kyle, are you arguing that is 100% conclusive, you are right, and 99% of other NFL fans are wrong? Is that what you're saying? Or do you agree that you can maybe argue your point, but the one thing you can't argue is that it was not for sure. It was not 100%, oh, he's crossing the plane, he definitely fumbled this ball. Would you agree with that?
I will say, from my personal view, if I was the referee, that would have been a touchdown. But the rule that they explained, where he does not completely have the ball, when he's rolling towards the end, out of bounds, and he loses that ball just for the slightest second, it comes off his bicep in his hand because he was, holding it like a loaf of bread.
Kyle, 10 seconds. Check out. I was getting to that part. I just wanted you. This should have been my first statement, but I'm very unorganized when I talk. I just wanted to get you. Do you agree that this is conclusive or inconclusive? Do you think when you watch that, do you think that is 100%, oh, that is clear, he fumbles, that is it? Because replay is only supposed to be used for that. Like, let's say there's a ball thrown and the ball, clearly hits the ground. Okay, you can make that call. There's no argument, even if you're a fan of the team that it will, lose the catch, you could argue, you can't even argue with it. Okay, ball clearly hit the ground. That's what replay is for. It's not for, like, if there's any sort of question of this could go really either way, and for most people, and I will say, Dean Blandino and Mike Pereira are two of the smartest NFL officiating minds in the league, I guess, both agree with me that this is not inconclusive. They should have gone with the call on the field. Whether or not, I don't even remember what their stance was on if there was movement or not, but they both said in a video, this is clearly not inconclusive, and they should have stood with the call on the field. They both said that the referee was wrong for overturning the call because it was such a tiny bobble. So I just wanted to get you really quickly, inconclusive or not inconclusive. Do you think this is 100%, oh, this is a fumble?
I think he definitely fumbled, yes.
So you think that's 100%. So you're going to go over. All right, it's fine. I'm not going to continue with that. So that's just establishing, and our listeners can decide for ourselves. And I will say the majority of the NFL, a majority of NFL reporters and quote unquote experts and officiating experts have all agreed with the side that this should not have been overturned. The only people arguing that this was the right call, 100%, this was a fumble, is Kyle Fahey, New England Patriots fans, and the one referee who made the call. And I will say this. The one thing that irks me the most is it was the people in New York that made the call, which is completely mind-boggling. I don't know. Anyways, I wanted to continue. So with this angle, and we've retweeted it. If you haven't found it, and I guess
find my video.
Look, I think this might be the same one because this is a very clear shot. The one I retweeted on our account, Kyle. So you're saying it bounced off his bicep. So I'll start with this. So before we even get to that point. There's the only part where there was a second, or not even a second, there's a millisecond where he doesn't have anything on the ball because Malcolm Butler pulls his arm back, and the ball is just kind of literally in midair, but it's in his gut. And there's a photo of that, very clear. But he's at the 1 yard line at that point. He's not even close to the pile. He's at I can tell you he's at the 1.5 yard line when that happens. That's very clear. He does not have possession of the ball. And I will say, but though, he never lost the ball. It's not like he hits the end zone, the ball pops up, or the ball rolls out of he never loses the ball. However, he recovers it at the 1 yard line. Very clear that he has possession at the 1 yard line. You can slow it down with your finger as you go through Twitter. So he has possession. He clearly has the ball in his grasp. His knee is down. The ball is over the plane, and his helmet / shoulder pad hits the end zone. Very clear that he's in. It's very clear. So what the NFL argued, and I will say though, I mean the ball is over the plane, so in my mind, I agree that's a touchdown. I mean, he's already recovered the ball completely and has landed in the end zone, and then he bounces and rolls over. And Kyle says it bounces off his arm bicep. It doesn't. He changes the hand that has the ball, but it never pops up in the air. I mean, I'm watching the angle.
It is completely out of his hands right here. And it
no, it's not.
Ben, I'm taking a screenshot right now.
Okay, so please send it to me, and we will. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way. There's no point at all, Kyle, where he's on his back in the end zone where the ball is out of his hand. There's a point where he's on his shoulder pad. By the way, but he's already had possession. He's already crossed the plane where as he hits and he starts to roll over.
Follow through though, Ben.
He does. He never loses possession, Kyle. I mean, I wish I could. My phone's not updated. I'm pretty sure you can do a screen recorder or something. I wish I could do that and put that. You know what I'll do is I'll record this on my phone, and I guess we can.
I'm sending you a Snapchat right now.
All right. You know what I'll do? Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. I'm going to say this now. I'll say this. Kyle is not going to convince me of his argument, and I'm not going to convince him. So he clearly has possession. I'll send Kyle screenshots. Okay. This is taking up way too much space on my phone. I only got how many gigabytes of space. Okay. So he doesn't have possession there.
Delete all those videos.
Establishes possession here. You can see he has possession. You can even go as far as to say he has possession here, where his ball is clearly over the pylon. His knee is in bounds from that other photo I sent you. He actually knocks the pylon down, but his knee is in bounds. Ball is over the plane. Question, and even right here. Ball is over the plane. That is a very conclusive shot right there.
All right,
now
look at the one.
The only thing in motion, it's right here. I'm about to look at it. It's right here. That's the only thing that this last photo. But he clearly maintains possession, never loses the ball, never pops out. So that was a lot of screenshots for nothing. And our listeners, well, and my phone's about to die. Hold on. I got to grab a charger. Kyle, you can talk. Give me 10 seconds.
Okay. So I just sent, you know what, I'm going to screenshot this, and I'm going to post it on my Twitter. And I'm going to catch a lot of hate for it, and ASJ probably will see it because he follows us, and he'll get a little mad. But this ball is clearly out of his hands. I'm taking a screenshot right now of this video. All right, he's back.
Are you kidding me? I plugged the phone in, and now it's dead. Really? I will DM we should have an NFL replay on this. The charger was in the wall before the phone died, but whatever.
I will send you a screen.
I know. Please try to describe it for our pod. We're gonna get past this ASJ thing. Yeah. I'll try to put timestamps in the bio.
It doesn't even
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Well, let's try to wrap this up in the next few minutes. But I was amazed, Kyle, that you're going against officiating experts, analysts, reporters, the commentators, 99% of football fans. That you think you know better. I mean, I know you enjoy being the heel of Jets Twitter, as Scott so eloquently put it.
Yeah, that's phenomenal.
Oh, you sent it to me like this. Yes, Kyle, we've already argued that. So the screenshot Kyle sent me, yes, that's the photo that's been published where he doesn't have the ball and he's not.
He never clearly reads.
Yes, he does. Okay, here we go. Here's the 6. It's like the Zapruder film. We got 6 shots here that I just sent you. Please scroll through them. So the first one is clearly the one you just sent me, where he's not. You can see by the next. You can see you can't even see the pylon in the shot. So I looked at it. I can move the mouse. So you can see he's at the yard and the half line. No ball. As you can see the pylon coming to the frame, he puts both hands on the ball. I probably should have taken another screenshot, but you can go back and I can send you another one. But he clearly has possession. He clearly has possession.
On the opposite side to him when he rolls to the other side.
No, hold on, Kyle. The NFL, Kyle, this is a mute point because the NFL referee agrees that he actually maintains possession here. He has possession. Look at the ball. Look at the shot where he's in. Are you in the chat? Where he's in the end zone with the ball. Hit the pylon, and I already sent you the one earlier where his knee is clearly inbounds at this point.
Yep,
so that's a touchdown. That should be a touchdown. It should be a touchdown on this next shot. I think that's the 5th shot where you can see his face now, kind of, where he's on his side. The only thing in question is this.
You have to regain it.
He does. That's the thing, Kyle. That's the thing you don't understand. Yes, he does. Kyle, he clearly. I love how you just think you know more than the NFL referees.
The people in New York said the exact same thing I'm saying.
I'm saying Dean Blandino, Mike Pereira, all the officiating experts. Yeah, the one NFL referee who's covering his ass agrees with you. Good job, Kyle. Like, what? Kyle,
the people
he clearly...
in New York who are professionals at it, current professionals...
Kyle, the current professionals agree with me.
No. They are no longer employed by the NFL. They are on TV.
I mean, they're on TV for a reason, though, Kyle.
Because
they're killing it.
Fox
is they're bringing it. Mike Pereira has been wrong twice. Anyways, the point is, Kyle, whether you can argue this or not, it comes down to that the fact that even we're having this discussion and going back as vehement. I'm not even trying to pronounce it. I had the word and I can't even pronounce it. Vehemently. Yeah, I think I don't know. Sometimes it's been a long day. Anyways, I know, but I messed it up too, so I can't even Okay, anyways. The fact that we're having this back and forth, and they're back and forth about controversial calls all the time. But the thing is it was not inconclusive, there was not conclusive evidence. It was not 100% sure, he clearly does not have the ball as he crosses the plane. There was never that shot. You can't overturn the ball there. And I'll say this, if it was called a fumble on the field, and we're having this whole debate, I would have accepted the whole, and that's how most controversial calls go. Most controversial calls are they made the call on the field, and then it was an argument like we have, but it was inconclusive, so they didn't overturn it, and that's why there's the whole uproar, controversial call. The one that made this one so different is it was a huge, most people are saying, okay, it's the call on the field that's right, but then they reversed it, and anyways, I'm just going to say, Kyle, that those shots I sent you, especially the last 2, that's the one that's in question, is when he actually, because they already say that he actually has the ball again. So he loses the ball for not even a millisecond. But then grabs it again, pins it against his body, has possession, falls over. And by my understanding, if you have possession and the ball crossed the plane, that should be a touchdown. Because it's not even like a catch. He's a runner at that point. It's like if, I'm trying to think of the right example. I think Mark Sanchez, this is the weirdest example that just popped into my head. I think Mark Sanchez had a touchdown, I believe it was against the Titans his rookie year, 3rd week, where he just kind of runs up the middle, and it kind of goes helmet to helmet, tries to truck this linebacker, right, and just hits a wall, and then just kind of spins around, sticks the ball across the plane. The ball gets knocked out, and the Titans try to, I believe it was the Titans, try to run it back, but it's no, ball already crossed the plane, touchdown. So by my understanding, if he has possession, he's a runner, balls cross the plane, that should be a touchdown. That's the thing that I don't understand, because he clearly has possession in these shots. He clearly has the ball, has taken a step or two. Anyways, but the thing that they were pointing out was when he hits in the end zone, and this will be the last thing we're going to say about this, we promise. When he hits in the end zone and he rolls up, the ball moves from one hand to another, and that was what the referee was saying. He was like, well, he didn't have possession there. But it's not like the ball popped up and he caught it with the other hand. It literally just, he hits the ground and he just it's almost like he just grabs it with his other hand. It was just the stupidest call it's one of the stupidest calls I've ever seen. Unbelievably stupid. Thank you, Kyle. Unbelievably stupid. The fact that they thought that was conclusive evidence is amazing to me. that these guys are NFL referees. The New York Jets were robbed by one of the worst calls in NFL history. And that's not an overstatement. If it was called a fumble on the field, then I would probably have accepted it by now. I would say that's a bad call on the field. That should not have been the call. However, it's evidence. There's evidence, but it's minuscule evidence that supports their claim, so it's not inconclusive evidence. There you have to go with the call on the field. But in this case, it was call on the field, touchdown. They should have stuck with it. No joke. All right, I'm sure our listeners are sick of it. I'll make sure to put a timestamp just so when people start to get sick of it, they can go, okay, we can go to 29, whatever, 26 minutes into the podcast when we're actually not talking about this. Let's move on. We'll analyze this game. Then I want to talk just kind of bigger picture Jet stuff, and then we'll go into the Dolphins game. We'll get out of here. So, ignoring this whole ASJ thing, I wanted to get just completely take it out of your equation here. Your thoughts on the game as a whole.
The first quarter was good. Like, we came out firing on all cylinders. Amazing catches were being made. Josh McCown was RG3 in his rookie year, scrambling, getting extra time in the pocket, hitting dudes with great velocity. And then the Patriots made some counters. They made some adjustments, and the Jets did absolutely nothing. I mean, we had a couple nice plays after that. Running game really never got going. I'm going to blame that on the O-line and the running backs. Elijah McGuire, 10 attempts for, I want to say 22 yards off the top of my head. It wasn't great.
I have the box score. You can keep talking, but I'll get it to you in a minute.
Matt Forte, he was good in the passing game, but obviously, he's really not a running back anymore.
Yeah, 10 carries, 22 yards. Is that what you said?
Yeah.
And Forte had 9 for 22, but Forte also, oh my God, there's the ad really loud. Okay, what is that? ESPN, please never play ads, full blast. Forte also contributed though in the passing. He had 8 receptions for 59 yards.
Yeah,
He's way more effective as a receiver.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's not a running back anymore. He's just kind of like...
Just change his number to 82 and put him in the slot.
Yeah, basically. Just work them, take away their middle linebacker, which is actually what we did a lot of the times. So, besides the first quarter, it really wasn't great. The defense was subpar. Buster Screen, Ben, I don't know. You just need to start roasting Josh McCown 24/7 if you want to see a Super Bowl, because you went Super Saiyan on Buster Screen. And ever since then, the dude's like the best corner in the NFL. It's like just a slap in the face to you. It is a wonderful, wild thing. I don't know what's better. Maybe T.J. Graham coming back after you like obliterated him, saying
Kembrell Tompkins.
Or Kembrell Tompkins, sorry, not
T.J. Graham.
Yeah, sorry, I don't know 10. Why that.
I see. Yeah, they both were number 10. Odd player to just pick out of the blue, though.
Yeah, my mistake. They're very similar, but
how so, Kyle?
They're both short-statured guys who wear number 10 and played for the Jets in a similar time frame.
Fair.
I know what you were trying to get out of me there, then. I don't appreciate that. I don't appreciate that. This is supposed to be a team thing, and you just like tried to ruin me right there.
You try to indict me all the time.
On things like you actually meant.
I was kidding.
Sure, that's why you.
Wait, I don't even know what we're talking. I was saying I was kidding when I was roughing you. I don't even know what you're referring to.
Sure, but anyway.
Now people are gonna think like I'm like hardcore a bigot to whatever you're implying.
Yep, the kid who goes to a private school in Portland, Oregon is a bigot. That's always been the case.
I'm really against kittens.
Yes. Oh, I think we can all stand. Kittens. That's something we can all stand for. I mean,
we're going to get a DM from PETA.
Yeah. Why are you against kittens? Why are your safeties that cook like bacon every week? But anyway.
I don't know what that was, but okay, continue.
But that was me being like a snowflake. But anyway, young safeties, I mean, Adams, he made that really bad play. I don't know what he was trying to do with Gronk. Across the middle, he like kind of tried to jump it, but he was so.
He was just late to the ball. The touchdown.
Yeah, he was just.
Yeah, he was late to the ball. He didn't want to get beaten. I watched this play a lot because I was curious with that too. Is that you just know it's going to Rob Gronkowski. It's going to Rob Gronkowski. Yeah. You know who it's going to. They're on the 2-yard line. And it looks like he just didn't want to get beat over.
No. The other Rob Gronkowski touchdown. The one where Marcus May missed the tackle.
My apologies. Continue. That one was even more infuriating. But anyways, continue.
Yeah. Like, I didn't understand what he was doing. Like, he's faster than Gronk. There's not a doubt about that in my mind. He has the speed to keep up with Gronk, and I think he has the physicality to play with him. I think we saw that down the field a couple times. But for some reason, he was running with him, and then he just decided to jump like he could keep up with the velocity of Tom Brady's ball. That's just a rookie mistake. I understand that, but, like, you gotta know. You gotta know that. And then Marcus May, I don't...
Yeah, you can't take that many risks against Tom Brady, or at least if you're going to take a risk, there has to be a significant pay. I mean, it was just the risk versus reward there. The risk versus reward there, and it just didn't make much sense there. I mean, but again, I mean, he's a rookie. He's going to learn from that. We knew that. We said at the beginning, they're both going to make mistakes. What happened in that play? Jamal Adams made a big mistake in coverage, and then Marcus May missed a tackle. That's going to happen, but a lot of the positives from them has outweighed the negatives, so I'm not that worried about them. They're going to make those mistakes, and I'm actually in agreement with Joe Caporoso about putting Jamal Adams on Gronk. A lot of people were upset about why would you put this rookie on this all-pro, probably the best tight end in the league, maybe Travis Kelce, but and honestly, it's like I'm in agreement with Joe Caporoso. I mean, this trial by fire, let him learn. Let him learn by going up against the best. You know, now in that second meeting, he's going to be ready. He's faced it before, and he might not play better. Gronk might still win the matchup. Excuse me, he might not beat Gronk, but I guarantee he's going to play better than he did this last time. Anyway, sorry. Continue with your analysis.
Yeah, I just thought that was a rookie mistake on his part. That was really like, I thought Adams had a good game. That was like really the only player was like, all right, that's a rookie mistake right there. That's something I expected. Marcus May, I don't know what he was trying to do. I understand Rob Gronkowski is a big guy, but you gotta like just try and tackle him. You can't just dive like 10 feet away from him.
It was Marcus May is normally a very, very good tackler, but I don't know what happened in that play.
That was fear. I'm not trying to sugarcoat it. That was fear. That was the fear of Rob Gronkowski, keg of a body, just coming to destroy Marcus May. And that probably would have happened, but he's got to at least make an effort there.
Because even if he misses, he slows him down, and another guy's not able to get him.
Yeah. So that was just rookie mistakes there, or fear set in, whatever it may be. I'm a strong believer that Rob Gronkowski is the best tight end of all time. So Jamal Adams' performance, I thought, was very good against him. That pass interference call was absolute bullcrap. There's nothing you can do on that play besides what Jamal Adams did. That was perfect coverage. He was physical with him, but he wasn't like draped all over him. If anything, Rob Gronkowski pulled him in closer and grabbed his arm. The ball was underthrown. The ball wasn't even catchable. So I don't know how they would call that pass interference. That, in my opinion, was the worst call of the game. That was just pathetic. And then that one touchdown, I'm not going to blame it on Jamal Adams because he clearly had an assignment in the box. Maybe he could react to it a little bit better, but it looked like they had, like, I believe it was Coney Ely kind of out in the flat just a bit, maybe kind of confused Brady. I don't know who Todd Bowles thinks he's going against. But Tom Brady and Bill Belichick don't get confused. Like, not at all. The defensive lineman's not going to be able to cover Gronk, and Jamal Adams had to, scurry over there and try and stop him to, no avail. But I thought it was a good game for Adams. I really didn't see May, like, besides that tackle. I thought he played pretty decently. Him and Buster Screen, they were basically alternating at free safety throughout the whole game. Don't know why, but Buster Screen fared pretty well in it. So the secondary wasn't terrible. Morris Claiborne, he was toast all game. I mean, Tom Brady laid some absolute beauties.
He was not toast all game. I mean, he got beat by Brandon Cooks, and then
Morris Claiborne.
Once he got beat down by Brandon Cooks once down the sideline. I'm trying to remember.
That he was.
I can't even remember another play where Morris Claiborne got like. I mean, I know he did, but I'm just saying like.
Like, go check Kyle Smith's and Joe Blewett's like film breakdown like every week. There's like usually a couple plays where Morris Claiborne just, I don't know, like he for the most part he's good, but there are just some times where he just lets the guy go. And like he just gets beat.
As a corner you're gonna have plays where you get beat, but Kyle, you can't say he was just toast all day. I mean he allowed one big catch, and I'm trying to remember I mean, let's go look at Brandon Cook's stats in this game. Brandon Cook, 6 receptions, 93 yards. I mean, yeah, Brandon Cook's had a good game, but and again, this doesn't take into account who he's covering him on what play. But besides that, Amendola and actually Hogan was the guy I was biggest worried about. He had only 1 reception.
He got scared. You want to talk about the fear of God when Marcus May killed him? That dude was momentarily dead on the field. I don't think he made another play all game.
Yeah, he had 1 catch for 19 yards.
Marcus May killed that guy. Chris, they permanently shut down 7-Eleven. They were out of plushies.
Let's I don't even know what you're saying at this point, but yeah, really quickly just to recap pretty much everything about this game, then we'll do some individual stuff and some other stuff planned for this episode. But yeah, overall, obviously hot start. But I mean, I'm sure every other Jets fan was sitting there when the Jets are 14-0, just knowing you can't get cocky. You know the Patriots are coming back. I was saying that during the Super Bowl, and obviously they came back and won. 14-0 lead against Bill Belichick and the Patriots is nothing. You knew they were going to come out of halftime and come back and win the game. This time it actually happened the first quarter break, so they didn't even get a halftime adjustment. Bill Belichick will go down as the best coach in NFL history, in part because of the in-game adjustments he can make. He can start slow, like other teams, but what separates him from being good and great is that when he starts slow, he's never out of the game. How many times have you seen the Patriots just obliterated, blown out? I mean, there have been times where they've been down, 20. There have been times, like all teams, where they get down, it's 21-3 at points. But you look at the final score, it's always going to be, even if the Patriots lose, it'll always be 37-34, Jets or Broncos or whoever they're playing. Definitely, I mean, you have to have that most respect for him. I don't love Bill Belichick, but
what?
I just,
here's another.
He's just very smug and just
because he's good. He is the best.
That doesn't. No, you can be good and be smug. I mean, it doesn't mean I have to like you. He could be bad and smug.
You just hate.
Oh no, I respect him, and I think he's one of the best coaches. I think he is the best coach in NFL history.
Yes.
Point blank. Period. That's just him. But I don't love. I don't know. I don't love him when you see him post game. He's just you just gotta keep doing it.
He keeps it real.
No, he talks like that. I don't know. Anyways. Yeah, but I think
his speech issues then?
He doesn't have any speech issues. He's just cocky and arrogant. He comes off like he's full of himself. And honestly, if I was the best coach in NFL history too, I might be full of myself and think that these reporters know nothing. I mean, that's probably his mindset because compared to him, they do. But yeah, I mean, I think obviously, it was disappointing for them to give up the game. I like that and. I like that how tough the defense was after the Austin Seferian-Jenkins fumble. That especially the run defense, which has been pretty suspect all year. If you're looking at rushing, the Patriots ran for over 100 yards against the Jets, and they're not the first team to do that. That's definitely my biggest worry. Which run defense was always the Jets' strength, especially during the Rex Ryan years, and it's definitely something that has fallen off. So I'm worried about that. But after that Austin Seferian-Jenkins call, there was, I think, 7 or 8 minutes to go in the game, so it's okay, the Patriots have one good drive where they just run the ball down the Jets' throats, and they can milk it all the way to 3 minutes, score a touchdown, game's over, right? But the Jets came out, got a 3-and-out 2 times, I believe. And that was really good. I definitely liked how they played then. But besides that, I think we've pretty much covered everything. As far as some Pro Football Focus notes go, some of the stuff that stood out to me obviously Austin Seferian-Jenkins had a high grade. Josh McCown had a perfect passer rating against the Patriots when throwing to Jermaine Kearse or Jeremy Curley. Curley, obviously, it was interesting that after those 2 big plays, he kind of just disappeared from the offense. They didn't throw to him, which I don't love. I think Morton, I like Morton, and he's learning. Again, you have to kind of think of him like a rookie. He's learning how to call an NFL game completely. He had a terrific first quarter. I definitely think he came out with a game plan. He knew what he was going to do. But again, as we said, the Patriots are going to adjust. You almost have to go into the game against the Patriots with 4 different game plans. Because even if you have the right game plan, you've been studying all week like John Morton did, and he knew exactly what to attack the Patriots with. And it was perfect. Great game plan. But the Patriots made the adjustment, and then he didn't adjust. He really didn't adjust to the fourth quarter. I mean, they got Cadet involved in the running game, and I don't know. But they should have been attacking New England downfield more, especially when you're up 14-0. Just you have your foot in the throat. I mean, a long touchdown, that kind of just demoralizes them even more. Patriots have one of the worst secondaries, especially against the deep ball. I think they didn't utilize that enough. When you have Robbie Anderson, when you have guys like Austin Swearingen-Jenkins who can go over the middle and make great catches, as we saw a few weeks ago, I think John Morton called a good half of a game, we'll say, the first quarter and the fourth quarter. But the second and third quarter...
That's not the most Jets thing possible.
No. Hey, we've seen Chan Gailey or other offensive coordinators, Brian Schottenheimer, Tony Sperano, Marty Morningweg, just to name a few, that can't even call a good game. That can't even call a good, quarter. I commend John Morton for his game plan coming into the game. I think he did his research. I think he came out with a good one. But he just has to know that when you're playing the Patriots or even any other team, but especially the Patriots, you got to adjust. And when you're playing the Patriots, you got to have almost 4 different game plans. I think the offensive line definitely struggled, run blocking for sure. Matt Forte, I'm just so sick of him just running 1 yard into his offensive lineman's backs. I mean, it's so annoying at this point. I think I could do that. I think any of our listeners, maybe not, but I think most of our listeners could get 1 yard on most plays like Matt Forte does. I think he's a much better receiver, and I think when he's in the game, we should be using him for his pass blocking and his pass catching. So I think he should almost strictly be a third down running back at this point for the Jets, which I'm actually pretty fine with. I mean, I think that's a good role for him at this stage in his career. Great receiver, great pass blocker, definition third round running back. So we definitely miss Bilal Powell. So I think we should see more Bilal Powell, Elijah McGuire as the feature backs, and Forte on third downs. Screen, as you mentioned, ever since I roasted him, he's been very good.
Just blame the whole squad. Just do it to him.
No, they'll just roast everybody, and then maybe they'll come out and fire. I think Darryl Roberts also had a good game. According to PFF, he had a 78.5 overall grade. So I was pretty happy with their corners overall. Yeah, Morris Claiborne gave up a play, but besides that, I also thought he also, at least had a competent game. Demario Davis, still a tackling machine. He's really our only good player in the run game right now. I mean, I guess Leo is also good, but, we'll get to them in just a second. That's where my question's about to go after this. And then lastly, Jamal Adams, only cool thing that Pro Football Focus noted it was just the Jets line him up everywhere. So he spent 31% of his snaps at linebacker, 28% at corner, or slot corner, 28% at safety, and 13% on the edge, which is cool to have Jamal Adams. You can move them all around. All right, we're done with our reviews. Let's go to some individual questions here. Kyle, the defensive line obviously has been struggling. Muhammad Wilkerson, Leonard Williams, really not impressive. Not gonna lie. I mean, I don't think Leonard Williams is just a bad player or anything. I think he's still a good player. But he's showing that when there's no other really threat in the defensive line, I mean, Coney Ealy is really the biggest threat right now besides Leonard Williams, that he can't take the double team or a triple team. Leonard Williams just can't do anything. And he's going to have to learn how to still make his presence felt when facing double teams, because he's going to face them, at least until, let's say he has a terrible season the next year, he might not face them. But he's a very talented defensive lineman. I'm very happy that the Jets have him on the roster, but they're either going to get pressure from another guy on the defensive line, or he's going to have to figure out how to break those double teams like the greats do. So what are your thoughts on the defensive line? Still no sacks throughout the entire season.
Yeah, Muhammad Wilkerson needs to go. I think I made that pretty clear in this week's Stock Up, Stock Down on TOJ. He's worthless. He is a waste of space. He has no effort. Ship him off to some bum, low-life city where he will have no name, because he deserves that at this point. I'm not as critical on Leonard Williams. I think if you really look at the film, and I've been watching Kyle Smith and Joe Blewett's film breakdown, like you've been saying, that dude's been getting double and actually triple teamed, like the center, the guard, and then a chipping running back, triple teamed, and he's still getting closer than anybody else, which is very sad. I understand the greats, the elites, the Hall of Famers, they can get through that, and Ndamukong Suh can get through that. This is Leo's third year in the NFL, right? He's going to have to learn to adapt to that. He has been dominating on these one-on-one matchups because of Sheldon and Muhammad Wilkerson and Damon Harrison and whoever else has been in there. He's just got to get used to it. I still think he's doing a phenomenal job. He made some really good plays in this game, some really nice tackles. He got some pressure, obviously no sacks, but, I'm not really looking for sacks from my defensive tackle. That isn't the biggest thing I'm looking for. I'm looking for tackles for losses. I'm looking for pressures more than I am really for sacks, because pressures up the middle disrupt quarterbacks more than anything else, because if you get them outside of their comfort zone and you push them to the wing, that's when they start making irrational decisions and they start throwing interceptions. They start throwing crossbody things. Obviously a sack would be great. It would be phenomenal. But, I'm looking more for pressures from him, which may sound stupid, but, I have my reasoning behind it. So I think Leo's doing a good job. He'll probably be in the Pro Bowl again. I'm not concerned about him.
What?
What?
What? You think Leonard Williams going to the Pro Bowl after 0 sacks and, no impact at all?
I mean, I think he's been by far our best player.
Not at all.
Who's
Kyle, as far as his presence being felt, I think MVP on defense is Morris Claiborne, undoubtedly.
Oh.
Undoubtedly, Kyle. He's had a terrific season.
It's been, above average. I mean...
Kyle, he's definitely the MVP on defense. Demario Davis has been terrific in run defense. He's the second leader in tackles in the NFL, only behind by 2, I believe. Jamal Adams and Marcus May have had way more of an impact. Dude, you can't give Leonard Williams, who's doing nothing, no tackles for losses, no sacks, no anything. Leonard Williams, Pro Bowl. Forget that. He's not doing anything. I'm not trying to criticize Leonard Williams and saying he's nothing.
He's the only Jets player people know, and they have to send one person.
No, you don't have to send one person.
One person will get elected from the Jets just because of our market, and it will be Leonard Williams.
No, we've not had anybody selected before. And Kyle, I'm telling you, first of all, if anybody's getting elected, it'll be like Jamal Adams or somebody. Leonard Williams, first of all, is not going to the Pro Bowl at this rate. I'm not saying he can't turn it around, and I'm not saying that he's a bad player all of a sudden. I think he's a good player, and I think he's just plateaued to the point where he was last year, and maybe this is the Leonard Williams we'll get, that single teams, he's going to dominate. But you put a double team on him, triple team, he's not going to be able to face that. But I'd give him time. Hopefully by the end of the season he's learning how to still make his presence felt.
I understand that the NFL...
You don't go to the Pro Bowl as a defensive lineman with 0 sacks, 0 tackles for loss.
That wasn't the point I was going to make. I was just going to say...
Your point about marketing, I mean, we've had guys not go from the Jets before. Kyle, it's purely based off football.
In the last 10 years? I don't think so.
Yes, we have. 2013 was Sheldon. 2014 was nobody. Yeah. 2014 was Sheldon. So 2013 was nobody then. Yeah, 2013 we had nobody. Maybe hold on. No, Damar Landry wasn't on the team in 2013. Yeah, he was. No, yeah. But first of all, Damar Landry didn't ever go to a Pro Bowl with the Jets. That probably should have been my first. Hold on. You keep talking.
Laurent Landry.
That one of the Landrys. No, Laurent went in 2012 but didn't play because he was hurt.
He still got elected.
And so you keep talking. I'm going to figure this out.
I'm pretty sure we've had a Pro Bowler
So in 2016, has nobody listed. That's weird. The Jets had nobody listed, but I'm pretty sure, and this Jets official website, Leo went last year. Leo went last year, but he was a Pro Bowl alternate. He was not elected. Last year we had Mo, Revis, and Brandon all elected. 2014 we had Mangold and Richardson. 2013 we had Cromartie and Mangold. I think none of them played. I think that's what I'm thinking.
We didn't have one in 2007.
2007, 2006.
And 2007.
So, yeah, 2007, 2006.
Only one time in the past 10 years.
But think about it, Kyle. Okay, so 2016 we had Leonard Williams, who actually had a productive season. Why are we talking about the Pro Bowl? But anyways, 2015, this is the most meaningless thing of all time. But just to prove, 2015 we had a great year with Brandon Marshall and Revis and Mo. 2014 we had Nick Mangold. 2013 we had Nick Mangold. I know. I'm just saying the reason. Okay, Sheldon Richardson had a good year, but he's not on the team anymore. But 2014 and 2013 we had Nick Mangold.
And Antonio Cromartie.
Carl, I know there's another player. I'm saying that we don't have Nick Mangolds anymore. Muhammad Wilkerson's doing nothing. We don't have anybody, my point is we don't have Darrelle Reeves. We don't have any notable veterans. I get you can make that point that if Leonard Williams had been a 10-year player and he's been dominant, that he could probably get in. But Leonard Williams, he only has one Pro Bowl. No way he's getting in. And yes, Kyle, it does happen. Anyways, let's bring it back here. Yeah, I mean, as far as my thoughts on Muhammad Wilkerson and that whole situation, I mean, it just looks like he's not trying.
He doesn't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that's what it looks like. I'm not in his shoes, so I don't know if it's literally just he just hasn't been able to shake the injury. I mean, he just has not been the same. So maybe it's just he just does not. He just doesn't have the same. Yeah, no, you're right. He should not be in the roster next year, barring an insane turnaround.
This year, he shouldn't be on it. We need to trade him before the deadline. Before even more bad takes.
Kyle, who's going to trade for him in that contract? Tell me. And the effort he's getting.
What are we going to do next year, man? What are we going to do? Just let him go? Get nothing for him?
Cut him. Yeah, Kyle, you can't get anything for him. You couldn't get a seventh-round draft pick because you have to clear $16 million. You have to clear $16 million in your cap, and then if you want to pay him the next year, you got to pay him like $20 million.
They can restructure.
So you're going to trade and restructure, Kyle. Most teams are going to look at that and say, Jets, you're not going to get anything for him. We'll sign him in free agency when you cut him our terms.
We got a second-round pick in Jermaine Kearse for Sheldon Richardson.
Because Sheldon Richardson wasn't on a massive contract, and Sheldon Richardson was actually producing. In the preseason, he looked nice. And last year, when he actually freaking played, he looked nice. Kyle, you're delusional if you think the Jets can get anything from Muhammad Wilkerson.
I believe
the Jets will not get anything from Muhammad. You believe what?
I believe we can get a seventh-round pick.
A seventh-round pick.
Yeah.
So who's giving us a seventh-round pick for $16 million?
I don't know, Ben.
You think a seventh-round pick is worth $16 million? For nothing? For the amount of effort he's putting? Kyle, the Jets aren't getting anything. Unless, if he shows any sort of production, then you're right. Then maybe somebody would be like, okay, but we have to talk to Mo's representatives and see if he'll restructure. But why? Like, Coney Ealy's looking way better. Coney Ealy might actually fetch something. I don't want us to trade him, but I'm just saying, as far as that goes. Anyways, no, I mean, the biggest impact he's having is on runs that, if the run goes to his side, he defends it. He doesn't try as hard. I mean, Brian Baldinger broke down when he faced a double team. He literally just went to the ground. He just kind of went prone, like pancaked. It was amazing. It was just didn't work whatsoever. But but if the run goes to his side, he'll at least put himself in the area, take up space, take up a few blockers, right? But the problem is if the run goes to the opposite side of him, he doesn't do anything. He literally just gives up on the play. When he realizes, I'm not making that tackle, he gives up on the play. And that hurts the Jets in two ways. Because one, you never know. He might make that tackle. Maybe the running back breaks all these tackles, but it slows him down, and then he has to cut back and Mo can make the tackle. But the biggest thing it does is that the running back then doesn't have any hurry at all. He doesn't have any timer in his head. If Muhammad Wilkerson is closing the backside in on, think about it. Like the walls are closing in. The running back is going to have to pick his hole, pick his lanes way faster. He's going to have to. He doesn't have the ability to sit back, be patient, look at the lanes develop, and boom, shoot the gap. But if Muhammad Wilkerson's just giving up on the play, and then he has no backside closing in on him, the running back can take his time and do that. So Muhammad Wilkerson not closing backside of the runs has really hurt the run defense. I mean, you could talk about when runs go to his side, how he's not showing as much effort, but the thing that hurts the most is you could see it on TV. He literally just disengages the block and stands up, just starts walking. It's awful. It reminds me of what Darrelle Revis was doing last year, and it's much different as far as pass defense, rush defense, tackling. But the same thing where you'll see him, when a run went to Darrelle, this is a little more prevalent, but when a run, let's say, would go outside to Darrelle Revis' side, he would just kind of hold on to his wide receiver. He'd hold on to his wide receiver, and then he would either end the play there, or he would just, let's say the running back engaged with another jet, he would just let go and just start walking. So, Muhammad Wilkerson needs to be off this team next year.
Yeah, I agree.
Undoubtedly. And Leonard Williams, we need to figure out something. And also, Steve McClendon's, washed. The Jets have no pressure from up the middle. That's why I miss Damon Harrison, because, the Jets aren't getting any – it's hurting their run defense and their pass defense. Steve McClendon's been pretty awful. And he's not getting any, spotlight, but he's not good. He's not been playing as much, but he's just run defense – non-existent. Every run is going into the second level, and pass defense, nothing.
Yeah.
Last question kind of just about this game, and then we'll move forward a bit. Well, actually, I guess this is kind of – never mind. This is kind of moving forward as well. The receivers, Kyle, had a pretty good game. Obviously, Jeremy Curley, Jermaine Kearse, a lot of the veterans stood out. What do you think that the plan is going forward for, this season for sure, and definitely in the future? I mean, do you think the Jets try to work in Ardarius Stewart and Chad Hansen? And then after that, this next year, I mean, Quincy Nunwell comes back, and then it's like, are you playing Jermaine? Is Jermaine Kearse coming back? Is Curley coming back? Just kind of assess this whole wide receiver position outlook for the rest of the season and beyond.
Yeah, Kearse has an option after this year. I honestly don't know if it's a player option or a team option. I'm going to guess a player option now. That's why maybe Seattle was so willing to get rid of him. Jeremy Curley, I'm going to assume it was a 1-year veteran minimum. I should probably know that off the top of my head, but seeing as we signed him out of free agency, I don't believe it was longer than that. So those are two guys who are being productive right now that could potentially be gone next year, even if Curley has like a little bit of a longer contract, maybe a 2-year veteran minimum. We could still probably cut him because of the young talent behind him. So this is going to be interesting because we have Quincy Nunwell coming back, Jermaine Kearse, Jeremy Curley. All really, really solid options, good NFL wide receivers, all number 2. And all, I don't know, Curley and Quincy best in the slot. Kearse, you can basically move him where you want. I don't want to say he's best in the slot, but he could definitely work there. So we have 3. I'll just put Kearse in the slot category just for argument's sake, even though I know we can use him everywhere. We have
but Kearse is actually one of the best slot receivers in the NFL. When he lines up the slot, he has a really high success rate.
They all are. I mean, the Jets have been blessed with slot receivers for the past couple of years. Decker, obviously gone, but Quincy, Jermaine Kearse, and Curley, I mean, we currently have 3 of those guys. Somebody has to get that job. Now, obviously, we can alternate them, but, like, Robbie's our deep threat. He is our deep threat, and he's constantly open. He is getting better and better every week. And the frustration for him is definitely starting to grow because quarterbacks just aren't hitting him. They aren't finding him, even though he continues to beat his guy. And it's not just over the top anymore. It's getting in the middle of the field. It's working the sideline. He was making some nice catches these past couple weeks. I mean, he was open on that one play, the interception. Malcolm Butler just made a phenomenal play, and Josh McCown made a poor throw. But so the wide receivers are going to be very tricky to deal with. And that's not even counting Allen Robinson, who could very potentially end up in New York. I think it's a real possibility. Big market, a guy who really has no, like, NFL guys know who he is.
Yeah, he'll love going from Blake Bortles to whoever the Jets have. I mean, hey, you never know. They might draft a guy.
He hates Blake Bortles. I mean, you can see it in his face.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I mean, like, do you think he'd rather go play for a good QB? I mean, he's sick of bad QBs.
I mean, that depends on who's willing to spend the money. I don't think the Patriots are willing to spend the money. Coming off the injury, that doesn't really seem like a chase they would go after. I mean, maybe the Packers. Ted Thompson kind of needs to redeem himself. I mean, there's not really a lot of teams that have, like, phenomenal quarterbacks anymore. I think by far it's Brady and Rodgers at the top of their game. And, obviously Rodgers done for the year. But I think Allen Robinson to New York is a real possibility. He's a great player in a small market. I can tell you Jacksonville may be a very big city. They're not relevant in anything. They're useless. They're like one of the worst cities in the United States. He's getting absolutely no exposure there, even though he deserves the exposure that Mike Evans and Sammy Watkins get. He's on that type of level, maybe even better. So the wide receiver position is going to be very difficult to navigate throughout the offseason, and that's not even counting guys like Ardarius Stewart, Chad Hansen, Devin Smith, and then guys we'll probably bring back for training camp as bodies. Chris Harper, a guy who impressed throughout the preseason, and then maybe somebody we draft, maybe some guys shake loose in free agency, maybe just an undrafted free agent. It's going to be a packed crowd at training camp. And, it's not a problem for the Jets. Having a depth of wealth is always good, but hard decisions are going to have to be made.
No, yeah, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of depth there, and I know you kind of just broke it down, so I guess we'll move on. But I mean, I'm happy that at least you're seeing guys come along. I do hope we get to see more. I mean, Chad Hansen hasn't even caught a pass this season. Ardarius Stewart is starting to get more involved in the offense. I still think they could open up the playbook for him a little bit more. But it's interesting. I'm happy that he's getting some playing time. I'm happy Austin Seferian-Jenkins is coming around. But definitely, and I guess we'll kind of use this as a segue. I mean, Kyle, have your expectations changed? And the pessimist you are, I know your answer already, but have your expectations changed at all for the New York Jets throughout the course of the season? Because going in, I know you made the joke that they're going to go 1-16, but I think you predicted 3 wins, I believe. Is that correct?
Yeah, like in between 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 or 4 wins. So has your expectations changed at all? Because the Jets already had 3 wins. So are you saying the Jets are only going to win no games or 1 game for the rest of the season? And not just record. I mean, how have your expectations changed? I mean, have they at all for this season?
I expect this team to be respectful. In games.
Respectable, you mean?
Yeah, respectable. I don't know why I said that.
Yeah, okay, all right.
I don't have an excuse.
Also, just noticing the Jets misspelled Antonio Cromartie on their website.
Makes sense.
Like just missing an O. And Tino.
Great job.
Random thoughts. Anyways, keep going. Also, Brandon Moore made a Pro Bowl.
Yeah.
2011 was dry. All right, anyways, keep going.
Yeah.
Over Revis? Wait, over Revis that year? Revis had a nice year that year. Anyways, sorry, keep going.
Yeah. They'll probably get like 3 more wins, but...
So your expectations have changed?
Record-wise, yes, but they're performing better than I thought they would as a young team. Todd Bowles hasn't cost them a game yet, which is something I wasn't expecting. John Morton hasn't been completely horrible.
Well, you could argue maybe, Todd Bowles didn't
kick that field goal.
Maybe that Bills game didn't punt it on 4th. Obviously I think the Jets would have lost either way, but he still made some crucial mistakes. But, all right, keep going. We're only 6 games in, so, 10 more to go.
He's got 10 more to prove me wrong. But
hey, maybe more, Kyle. Maybe more.
And ends up in smoke.
Playoffs, baby. I was kidding. Just keep going.
And John Morton hasn't been completely terrible, which is something I wasn't expecting. I honestly wasn't expecting him to be good whatsoever. So I think that's a big reason the Jets are winning, more than I expected them to. But at the end of the day, this is still a team that's going to be middle of the pack, like you were saying on another show, in the 13 to 16 range. That doesn't do us any good. What does that really do?
No, picking in the 13 to 16. Just to clarify, not the 13 to 16 wins game range.
No, hell no.
That's a pretty good range to be in, but yeah, sorry, keep going.
It really does us no good. We're far from the playoffs, and we're
I didn't say that it does us no good.
The only good out of it is building young players' confidence, which clearly has its upside.
We've gone back and forth on it, but the one thing is I've just, you want to establish an environment, like we broke it down last week, but do you want to establish the environment that the Cleveland Browns had? And you do that by having the number 1 overall pick. So I think you win as many games as possible. But this is why I kind of asked you this is, if the Jets...
Goddamn fine.
If the Jets continue at the rate that they're playing, is it kind of hurting their... Because I was in favor of, and I'm obviously going to cheer for them every week, but I'm saying I was in favor of, winning as many games as possible, but with the young guys playing. You know what I mean? So if the Jets keep going at this game, let's say the Jets finish 8-8, but they just keep winning, then losing. They're winning, then losing. Would Todd Bowles ever bench Josh McCown at all? I don't know if he would. Because, at 8-8, you have to assume, okay, a few weeks before that, they're at least around the playoff point. Maybe that last game he plays Petty, but then you get, 1 game to evaluate Petty, 2 games to evaluate Petty. And again, given Josh McCown the injury history, there's a good chance that he'll get hurt. And I'm not going to cheer for that at all, anything, but I'm just saying, when do you think Todd Bowles would ever start playing the young? Because, I would love to see – obviously, I love seeing this team win, and I'm going to cheer for who's ever out there. But I want to see Petty, and I want to see more of McGuire. So I want to see more of Petty, less of McCown. I want to see more of McGuire, less of Forte. I want to see more of Chad Hansen or Darius Stewart, and less of – everybody's really contributing, so I can't even be less of Jeremy Curley because Curley's actually had a nice year. But, I want to see them worked into the offense more. Maybe pull back some of the reps for Curley and Curse and give them to Anderson to Stewart and Hansen. I want to see more of Leggett and less of Eric Tomlinson. I want to see more of I'm trying to think, like Darryl Roberts, Xavier Coleman, Justin Burris, less of Buster Screen, even though Buster Screen's actually had a pretty nice few weeks. Like, when do you think that will happen this season? Because the way the Jets are playing, and you can argue their schedule, but, I mean, look, they got Miami, who's not looking too good. I mean, I know they did just have a comeback win against Atlanta, and so we're going to talk about this in just a second, but they're riding high. The Jets aren't as they're really right now. Or at least it seemed like, a controversial loss always hurts your morale. So, win, loss, one of those. Falcons are going to be a tough game, but again, they just blew a lead to the Miami, who was one of the worst teams in football, so who knows? I mean, the Jets, and you have the Chargers, you have the Saints, you have winnable games on your schedule. I just wanted to get your thoughts on. I mean, do you think this is going to be one of those seasons where the Jets are just going to play McCown the entire year, barring he gets hurt? I mean, because I'm in favor of winning as many games. I'm not going to cheer for the team to lose unless it's December and it's like to fight for the number one pick. But I mean, what? I mean, but I don't see much value in picking. The difference in picking, I mean, obviously, what's the phrase? Hindsight is 20/20. Thank you. Hindsight is 20/20. But I mean, I'd rather win the extra 2 games and be picking at 13th than lose those 2 games and pick at 7th, even if they're meaningless. I want guys like Adams and May to grow and play well. All those guys on offense and defense that I listed to play well. I want to see ASJ and Coney Ely, some veterans, but still young guys, continue to blossom. Like, I want to see positive things from this team. Build the core of the team and then add to it this offseason. Then you could actually put together a legitimate playoff threat. When I say play, like a legitimate young team. You know what I mean? I want to see all the young guys. I want to evaluate the entire roster. Okay, let's see what's working, and just start building your core. Just start building your foundation and say, okay, these guys are staying. These guys, Muhammad Wilkerson, are out. And then let's just acquire as many draft picks as possible, plug these holes, and free agents. Let's sign these young guys. I don't know. But I wanted to get your thoughts on when do you think Bowles would, how do you see the season playing out?
Ride or die for Josh McCown, probably. That's honestly how I see it playing out, because this is what's going to happen. Todd Bowles starts pulling Josh McCown and taking away reps from Curley, like you were just saying. Guys like Jamal Adams, Marcus May, they're going to notice that. It may be benefiting Ardarius Stewart and Chad Hansen, but Jamal Adams wants to win. Marcus May wants to win, and they're starters. It's not like these backup guys who are prying for a role. And right now I'm a little more concerned about Jamal Adams and Marcus May than I am Ardarius Stewart and Chad Hansen, even though we've invested draft picks. So what I'm saying is the guys who are already here, young, starting, and we're going to build with in our future, they're going to notice that. They're going to say, our coach doesn't want us to win. He's looking towards the future, which I think is what happened last year as well. And you know what? I may just be okay with that. But the players aren't going to be. And if we want to talk about culture and everything, it's a tricky situation. But I don't see Bowles going to Petty at any time. And I don't know if Petty will be able to play because I don't know how much I don't know what he's been doing in practice. I mean, we don't really hear anything about the quarterbacks. Christian Hackenberg has thoroughly gone back into the freezer. He will not be heard from or seen from for 8 months.
Decades.
Yeah. Which is a good thing. By the way, I won that bet, so I don't have to bury myself alive.
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Kyle doesn't have to bury himself alive. Well, hey, don't speak too soon.
Watch this Christian Hackenberg just unthaw and just catch on fire. Go ahead and roast him right now. Just do it.
Yeah, no, I'll pass. Anything else? Continue with your.
Ben doesn't want to roast any players because he's afraid.
No, I'm not afraid. I'm not going to roast. Look, I don't think Christian Hackenberg's a good quarterback at this point. I think he's pretty. I think.
What if I roast him? You think it's going to be the same thing?
No, I don't think. I think they'll die or something. You'll have the opposite effect. I think that he is.
I'm really in on this then. Christian Hackenberg, you suck.
No, oh my God. No, I think he improved from his rookie year. Definitely. I think he definitely improved, but it was like a baby jump. It was
Ben, that's like going from like a 46.
Yeah, so let's say
62.
out of a scale of 0 to 100, and 100 is Tom Brady, Christian Hackenberg was like at a, was at like a 12. And now he's at like a 23. Andy Dalton's like a 65, okay? So just to give you perspective.
Andy Dalton's a bottom-tier quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like, Andy Dalton's like a 65. So, like, just to give you, like, it's like a grade. Think of it like a grade. Christian Hackenberg's still an F, but he's a higher F. He did his corrections on the test he failed and got one-fourth of the point back.
No, he's a Z. If you're under a 25, you're a Z. There's no coming back from that.
Anyways, well, yeah. So I have a few more questions about this 2018, and then we're gonna wrap it up here a bit. So I have a list of veterans.
We talked about the Dolphins game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We're gonna get to that second. I have a list of veterans here. And I want you to tell me just outright, pretty quickly, are they back in 2018? I have a list of people, I guess I'll say. We'll start with Mike McCagnon.
Yes, absolutely.
Jeremy Curley.
For, like, in training camp or the regular season?
I guess I'll say regular season. You can clarify, I guess, that I think the Jets will bring him back, but I don't think he'll make the final roster.
I think the Jets will bring him back. I think he'll deserve to make the final roster, but I think they'll go in the favor of the young player instead.
Yeah, but like if you get to the point where it's Chad Hansen versus Jeremy Curley, who are you going to take?
Chad Hansen.
I think you take Curley and just Chad Hansen on your practice squad. Think about it. Let's say the Jets, trade up and get Josh Rosen. Like, are you gonna?
Yeah, then I'll probably keep Jeremy Curley.
Yeah, you want to build as many good guys as possible. Okay, Jermaine Kearse, similar situation.
I don't think. Well, I think he likes it in New York. I think he'll stay.
ASJ.
Yeah, we have to re-sign him.
Lorenzo. Malden.
No.
Muhammad Wilkerson.
No.
Demario Davis.
Yes.
Steve McClendon.
Nope. Shouldn't be here in the first place.
Wesley Johnson.
No.
Morris Claiborne.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
Kelvin Beachum.
Yes, absolutely.
Matt Forte.
God damn it, yeah, probably.
Matt Forte's not going to be back. The Jets have an out of his contract this year. Like the Jets, I think the Jets can. Yeah, he only had 2 years guaranteed, so I think they have an out. I think it's.
I have like a strange feeling that like Matt Forte has. They like go to Bible.
Dude, running backs are just so. I mean, you can get a running back. Look at Elijah McGuire. You can get a running back in the 6th round that at least can be productive. Travaris Cadet arguably had a bigger impact than Forte did, as far as yards per carry. Strictly on the ground. Forte actually had a pretty solid game receiving the ball. 2 more. Josh McCown. I could see him coming back even if they draft a quarterback.
I wouldn't be shocked. I honestly wouldn't.
No, but even if they draft a quarterback, he's actually having a nice year. He knows the system. He'd be a lot like Mark Brunell, though, in the 2010-2011 season. So
I'm going to pray no on that one.
All right, and then lastly, Todd Bowles. I mean, I know you and even I were in favor of Todd Bowles not returning. I mean, after the Buffalo game, we were pretty set on Todd Bowles needs to go. But after 6 weeks, the Jets have played some tough football. We've already talked about have your expectations changed for the season after watching this team. You've said they haven't in substance, but in record, yes. So this is a pretty big question, and we've talked about the veterans based off this season, who you think will return. So, Kyle Fahey, ladies and gentlemen, will Todd Bowles be the coach in 2018? After watching the first 6 weeks of football. I'm uncomfortable with that moan.
Well, if your moans sound like that, you have problems. But off of these first 6 games, I'm going to say he does return. But, big but here. Big one. Like, apple bottom jeans one here. If Todd Bowles pulls a Todd Bowles, yeah.
Well, I don't know why I laughed at that. I don't know why I laughed at it. It wasn't even that funny.
That was pretty good. Todd Bowles pulls the Todd Bowles and really stinks it up, which is very likely, I think Chris Johnson is going to take the initiative.
Oh, wow. I am disgusted. You better talk to before I...
I love that sound. I love it so much. Chris Johnson will take the initiative. I think he will. I think he'll have like a coffee date with Mike Maccagnan and say, hey, I need you to find the quarterback, and we need to find the coach who's capable of developing him.
I'm honestly feeling, I don't know, after hearing about, I mean, even we talked to Austin and Kelvin, and obviously they're not going to come on the show and trash Todd Bowles, and I made this point before, but it seems genuinely like the players like him. And honestly, if they play like they have the past few weeks, I think Todd Bowles is back. I think he's coached a team that doesn't have much talent. I mean, they have talent, but a lot of raw talent, I guess I'll say. And he's formed them into a very competitive football team. And despite what you say, they played tough against New England. So I think he'll be back. And I think it's very understated or underestimated, how much changing a coach impacts a team. I mean, the guys like Todd Bowles, the guys have gotten close under him. They have a lot of team chemistry. I think you just got to ride with him. And, the longer you have him, you hope that he get better. I like John Morton, and I think he's actually done a pretty good job, especially first-year offensive coordinator. He's still learning. As I said, he's basically a rookie. I mean, I hopefully by week 16, he'll be calling even better games. It's like, are you going to fire your head coach and then keep your offensive coordinator, or maybe you're promoting John Morton to head coach? I mean, who knows? I think Todd Bowles is back, barring anybody like maybe a John. I don't even know if I'm in love with Chucky coming out, but if John Gruden is available, then and Todd Bowles finishes 6-10, 7-9, maybe they look into it. But right now, I think Todd Bowles is returning. All right. Lastly, let's close it up with the Miami Dolphins talk. Kyle, I mean, I'll just start off. Your predictions for this Sunday. I think I'll preface this with I'm a little nervous about this game. I think the Jets can win this game, but I'm going to go ahead and I think for the first time this season, I think I predicted a loss against the Raiders. But so I'll go ahead of you. I think they're going to lose, and I hate saying that, and I really hope they win. And I'll say this: I thought they were going to lose the 2015 game against the Dolphins after they're coming off the Texans loss. Just because I've been a Jets fan for long enough to know that after a demoralizing loss, they typically, and you never know, typically don't come out hot the next day game. Now there are two responses the Jets could have to this New England Patriots game. They could play angry. They can play very emotional. They can also have, don't get comfortable, but at least have the confidence boost to, hey, we just played the defending Super Bowl champs and definite contender and played them tough. So they're either going to play with anger and all that behind them and just come out and obliterate the Dolphins and just say, we shouldn't have lost that game against New England. We're going to beat, everybody in our, damn schedule for the rest of the time. Or they're going to come out slow. And my biggest fear is they're going to come out slow. I hope it's the former, but I fear it's the latter, that they're going to come out and it's just going to be dead. It's going to be like what they were second and third quarter, just allowing big runs at the middle to Jay Ajayi. Josh McCown's turning the ball over. I'm afraid it's on the road. Only won one game on the road this season. I don't know. I predict a loss. I obviously hope it's a win, and I think it's very possible that it will be, but and especially since Miami's coming off a comeback win against the defending NFC champions, and they're riding high, and the Jets are, depending on who you talk to, riding low. Because some Jets are riding high because of the morale boost of playing the Patriots tough, but a lot of Jets, that controversial call, it angered them. The one thing I will say that goes to disprove my point that I think the Jets will lose is after the ASJ call, the defense really tightened up the run game, as I know we already talked about this, but the defense, really played tough, didn't allow a first down after they've been gashed pretty much all day. The offense immediately got in scoring range, and then on that final drive, if McCown hits Cadet, they're at the 10-yard line with 12 seconds to go, 10-yard line. So they at least, it wasn't like, because after the interception, or the fumble by ASJ, I was like, the game's over. They're going to lose this game. The Patriots are going to drive down the field, milk the clock out. But they didn't. So maybe that's a sign that the Jets are tougher than we think they are, and emotionally they're going to come out this weekend and dominate. But anyways, that was my long-winded answer. Kyle, your thoughts?
Besides this Patriots game and I guess maybe the Jaguars game, we really haven't come out to a fast start. I think, the Cleveland game would be a prime example of it. I hope the Jets don't come out and sleepwalk this first half, because if we do, it's not going to be good. It's hot in Florida right now. I'm not going to lie to you. It's very hot in Florida. Guy like Muhammad Wilkerson, he's going to be gassed. There will be no running sprints on the sideline this game. I just got that weird feeling about this one. It's kind of like the opposite of the feeling we all had about the Ravens game last year. I just feel like Jay Cutler is going to have one of those, like, oh, crap, Jay Cutler games. It's like, wow, why did he ever retire? And then, like, the next week he'll probably, like, smoke a cigarette.
Well, with the Ravens game, the Jets dominated the Ravens game.
Yeah, I said it was the opposite feeling of the Ravens game from last year.
Wait, what is that? I mean, the Jets, I felt hyped going into the Ravens game because we announced Geno Smith as the starter, but
I just thought the Jets were going to win that game. Like, that was just a game on the schedule.
All right.
When you, like, saw
I
it.
see what you're saying. Is that when you saw it, you were just like, the Jets are winning this game. Or you, at least you felt that the Jets were going to win.
Yeah, it was a trap game. I feel like...
Yeah, I felt that with the Jags game this year. But anyways, continue. You feel like this is a trap game because the Jets play Atlanta. They've coming off a tough loss.
Yeah. This is a heartbreaking loss. I think a lot of the guys in the locker room were very angry. And I don't know how that anger is going to translate to the field, primarily because I don't trust Todd Bowles enough to control the locker room as a head coach, or at least to control the emotions of the players right now. And I feel like that will be leading to over-aggression and bigger mistakes. O-line has been a problem. And, we may have fared well against Ndamukong Suh and Cameron Wake last time. Wesley Johnson plays like that again, like these past couple weeks. Ndamukong Suh is going to rack up like 5 sacks. Malcolm Brown, I told you to look out for him, and he basically dominated that whole game. That one penalty kind of gave like a bad taste in the mouth of Malcolm Brown's game, but he dominated Wesley Johnson for that entire game. It really wasn't a challenge for him. Luckily, we just had a lot of plays where when he got through, the ball was already out of our hands, or McCown was out of the pocket, or for some reason the sack just didn't come through. But Sue's not going to make that mistake. Brandon Shaw, he got beat 2 times against the Patriots and their non-existent pass rush. He did okay against Cameron Wake last time. I think better than what most people expected, but I don't know if he can do that again. We're definitely going to have to use ASJ, chipping him a lot, which takes away from the passing game, which eventually takes away from the Jets' offense. So I don't really see the Jets winning this game.
Yeah, I think. What do you think are the keys to victory if the Jets are going to win this game, though?
Lockdown secondary. Jarvis Landry, Devontae Parker, though they haven't had flashy years, they're very, very good wide receivers. Jay Cutler takes away from them, but don't leave them open. They will win against you. Devontae Parker will get physical with you. Darryl Roberts may have had a good game last week. I want to see him follow that up. Buster Screen's getting moving around a lot. They want to put him at free safety. We're going to need it because Devontae Parker could definitely be a threat. I don't even think he played. Oh, yeah, he played the last game because he didn't get that one 4th down because he ran awkwardly. It was weird. But
great wide receiver.
Yeah, he is. He is a good wide receiver. I mean, he's a very talented young man.
Yeah, no doubt. He's yeah.
I think if Ryan Tannehill was playing this year, the Dolphins would be a playoff team. I honestly believe that. Jay Cutler's really, really hurt them.
That defense is not looking amazing, but okay. Defense is disgusting.
They've also had some injuries, and Lawrence Thomas right now is playing out of his mind for the Dolphins, and that's kind of gone under the radar. But
Lawrence Timmons?
Lawrence Timmons. Sorry, Lawrence Thomas. It's the same guy. Travis Wingfield has done a really good job at breaking down the Dolphins' defense, and I will say their safeties have been an issue for them this year. I think he's highlighted that pretty well, but Lawrence Timmons has done a phenomenal job in his strong side linebacker spot. So, I don't know, maybe working the middle of the field with Forte. And, Bilal Powell, it looks like Powell's going to play because we cut Jahad Thomas today. Or we moved him somewhere. We might have signed him to the practice squad.
I actually like the Jahad Thomas.
Never heard of him.
At a Temple, obviously you don't want to watch highlights. But Kyle, as I'm talking, just look up Jahad Thomas highlights from Temple. And I know highlights aren't tape, but that kid can move. Just look it up while I'm talking.
Have you ever seen me at a buffet? You'd probably find me too, and that doesn't mean I'm an NFL player.
All right. But just check it out. I think it's a big thing. Establish the run. That's huge. Bilal Powell, Elijah McGuire have to get going. Eliminate the big play. And I guess force Jay Cutler to be Jay Cutler. Make him make some mistakes. That would be the thing. I mean, the Jets are getting turnovers and stuff. And Kyle, lastly, I believe this is the last thing. Am I forgetting anything? Quarterback rankings are kind of the same. I don't know if there's anything else we're going to throw in there.
Yeah, no.
But basically, last thing, any other final predictions besides, I know we give our scores, but besides that, pick sixes or individual performances, anything that you can see as you're watching Jahad Thomas highlights. And for listeners at home, you go ahead and look up Jahad Thomas highlights. This guy is insane.
Jamal Adams gets his first career interception.
Pick six?
Nope. The Jets will not score on defense in our lifetimes, Ben.
That's unfortunate.
It's reality.
All right, so Jamal Adams gets his first interception. Anything else? Are you watching Jahad Thomas highlights, Kyle?
Oh, wow. Man, he's got great breakaway speed. Wow. Look at him go.
He's got some jukes. Guy gets away from tackles.
The juice is loose.
Oh, that one. Are you watching the Football Man 175? It's the guy who put out this video. That's insane.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Yeah, he's good. Anyways. Yeah, no, I really liked it, so I'm hoping he, I like him more than Cadet, and I think Cadet had an okay game, made some plays, but I'd play him over Cadet any day.
I mean, Cadet was there for 7 days, and he was one of our most productive players on offense.
Yeah, man. Yeah. All right, Kyle. Any last words before we sign off? I know you normally give your comedic last word, but any just last things you want to touch on?
Yankees.
So you're saying Bowles is you say Bowles is back? No, isn't back. You said Bowles isn't back next year. Are you predicting a trade up next year? I just want to get we're getting close to midway of the season. I just want to get your
Ben, you're talking about off-season things during the regular season.
Okay. So. Hey, I like to pick and prod when we have the chance to just see where your mind's at.
You're just creating a new topic. It's okay.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Any last things?
That's an inside joke. No. Well, I was gonna say before you cut me off, Yankees 1 win away from the World Series. At least one team in New York is successful nowadays.
Hey, the Giants gonna make a comeback. 11-5.
I just want to say that was the soccer bet of the century. They didn't even have a line for that game. When they don't have a line on a game in Vegas, meaning all the money is on Denver, there's no chance in hell Vegas is going to lose. You just have to go with the other team. Just putting that out there.
All right, well, that's the last word. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. Means a lot, the amount of lessons we keep getting. So definitely keep getting, keep it up. Share when you can. We haven't had callers the past few weeks. We just by choice. We'll make it. We love having. We love having fan interaction. So if you guys definitely want to make sure you call in, you got to send us a DM, and we'll definitely make sure to put you on. We'll kind of leave it up to vote if people want callers or not. We would never just completely eradicate having callers. I just think, Kyle and I get to talk some football and stuff, but we'll probably have callers the next show or whatever. So even if we were to do more shows without callers, it would be we'd have a show with callers, twice a month or once a month or whatever. All All right, yeah, you can listen to our show on pretty much every podcatcher, but iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, iHeartRadio is the best place. Check us out on turnonthejets.com, part of the TOJ digital family. All our episodes, articles are up there. Our social medias, make sure you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and especially Twitter. Over 1,000 followers. Make sure you check us out. And last but not least, if you're interested in going in either of the next 2 Jets home games, the one against the Falcons on the 29th of October and the one against the Bills on the 2nd, make sure you use the promo code on the New York Jets official website. Just use the promo code TheJetTake, no spaces, just one word, TheJetTake. Discount on the tickets, and then if you're one of the first people, you will get on-field access after the game and some experiences. So make sure you do that. I think that's it for all the plugs. We'd like to thank all of you for listening to another episode of The Jet Take. Kyle and I kept it civil for the most part. That ASJ breakdown took about like 30 minutes, but I think it was worth it. I mean, anybody with a brain knows who's right. It's me. We could go back and forth on it, but
anybody who knows how to spell nothing knows my takes.
Okay. That's not a shot at me for our listeners. I know how to spell nothing, but Kyle's just subtweeting people on our show, I guess.
I'm handing out body bags like candy on Halloween.
Thank you for listening to the episode, and we'll be live next Wednesday, 8 o'clock Eastern. We will have callers, so make sure you call in. The number is 1-515-739-1285. Enter the PIN or access code 261860 with the pound or hash sign. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Larry David is back, baby.
We got to get the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme song as a soundbite.